Welcome to Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. I am Argo from Elvis Radio, joined by Angie Marchese, the Director of Archives here at Graceland, for a special glimpse at an exhibit that has been very special here at Graceland. Elvis Through His Daughter's Eyes, put together by Lisa Marie Presley. Angie, you and Lisa worked very hard on this.
We did. We worked very closely together. It was the first time that, we actually sat down and looked at the collection and looked at the story through her eyes, through the dad that she knew, through the Elvis that she knew. And so she was very hands-on with deciding everything from color schemes to what artifacts that she felt best represented the story. So it was a great collaboration between the two of us trying to get the exhibit put together. It's been very popular, probably one of the most popular exhibits we've done. I can easily say that because it's a side of Elvis that not everyone could tell the story. Only Lisa could tell the story the right way.
And very personal for her, opening up this way to share a lot of special items, as we'll see,
right,
as this exhibit has just shared that with people from all over.
It really has. It's given them an insight not only to him but to her and to the Elvis who she knew. Just the dad.
Now, this is part of the VIP tour here at Graceland, and a lot of people have had a chance to see this exhibit, but if you haven't, well, you're going to get a peek now. And right behind us is Lisa's, her baby room,
yeah,
right?
her baby room. Right down even to the wallpaper that we had replicated. We actually had a swatch of it in the archives. And so the first thing was trying to find a flatbed scanner big enough to scan it. I had to go all the way to Nashville. But they scanned it and reproduced the wallpaper to a T. I mean, this is exactly what the wallpaper looked like in her nursery.
So this was upstairs here at Graceland.
Yes.
And talk about this crib here.
The crib also is from upstairs. A very unique piece. We have his and her, our mother and daughter rockers that you see over there in the corner. I mean, it just, everything is, when Lisa first saw this, she was like, this is what she remembered. It was her room, this is what it looked like. She was kind of in awe of the fact that we were able to recreate the nursery almost to a T down here in the exhibit.
Now, you said the wallpaper is not currently up there now, but where did you find a piece of wallpaper from her baby room?
Actually, in the attic collection. When we brought everything down from the attic and had it stored at the warehouse, where they had wallpaper samples from all over the house, and just happened to be that there was one that was up there. And just a moment ago, and in a minute, you'll see a picture of Lisa in this crib, and you can see the wallpaper behind her. So it was kind of putting the two together. It's like, oh, I know where that wallpaper is.
Talk about the baby book up here. Is that filled with photos, we assume, from her birth?
It is. It's filled with photos and cards of congratulations. I mean, we even have a letter in here from the mayor of Memphis at the time congratulating Elvis and Priscilla on the birth of Lisa. The baby silver was a gift from her grandparents, Tiffany, of course.
Yes.
And the toy that's up there in the upper corner, I don't know if you've ever seen the home movie footage of Lisa's first Christmas. But that toy is one of her first Christmas gifts. It actually sits on the dining room table.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was also trying to grow her up, not through Elvis's eyes as well, as he watched his little girl grow up and things he gave her and times at Graceland that they spent together.
Well, and I think this just shows people too how well you all take care of everything here at Graceland.
Yes.
With a baby toy from her first Christmas.
From her first Christmas.
And it looks great up there.
Yes, the preservation is one of our #1 priorities, as well as being able to share the collection with all of the fans and all the guests that come to Graceland.
So tell me about the roller skates there.
Roller skates. Oh my gosh, when Lisa opened the exhibit here, it was actually on her birthday, and she even had a roller skating birthday party here at Graceland.
Wow.
Yeah. So ever since she was a kid, roller skating, obviously for girls, it's very popular, especially back when Lisa was a kid. So those are her personal skates.
Her first wheels right there.
Yes, her first wheels. Elvis used to rent out the local roller skating rink all the time. Loved it.
Well, the Rainbow Roller Dome,
yeah,
right?
So could have been something he passed down as a tradition,
Absolutely. Talk about this framed piece here, The Priceless Gift.
That was something that was written by Janelle McComb, who was a close friend of the family from Tupelo, and she wrote it for Elvis to give to Lisa. So it's kind of from his perspective, but it's a poem that she wrote for Elvis to give to Lisa on her birthday. Oh. Yeah. Some of the other things that we have in here, over here in this corner, you want to go take a look?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay. So over in this corner, Argo, we have several pieces. Some of them Lisa even spoke about when she first opened the exhibit. In fact, one of those you probably have heard her talk about millions of times, that golf cart key.
Yes, and look how worn it is. You can tell it got a lot of use.
It got a lot of use, yeah. As soon as she could reach the pedals of the golf cart, Elvis bought her one. And just like her dad, she would tear up the grounds here at Graceland.
The thing that struck me the most when I walked in was seeing my golf cart key to honestly, and it's just completely worn out. Like, that was the key to my life. It's in a little box over here, and I haven't seen it in probably 30 years. So to see it, and it was like sort of the key to my freedom, my demons, and my and my friends, and my having fun when I was here, was to get the key to my own golf cart. And anyway, as you can see, it's completely worn down, and you can barely understand that it says my name on it because I just wore it out. It was always on me at all times. I was really overwhelmed at seeing that, I think.
I mean, she tells stories about golf cart riding, and that she could tear the roof off a golf cart, she could run it into a tree, and the next day it would be fixed. And she was out and about again. So the golf cart key was probably one of her most favorite things that she got a chance to put on display here, because it really represented kind of that sign of her childhood.
Sure, and it's something she still to this day loves to do when she's here.
She still does, yes. And now she brings the twins, and they tear up the yard too, just like Lisa did.
Plenty of golf carts here, right,
Plenty
Ann?
of golf carts to go around, that's for sure.
I think a lot of people, when they come in here and they see these baby footprints, they say, oh.
They're like, that's so cute. Yeah, but those were her first feet print from when she was born, February 1st, 1968, here in Memphis. She was born at 6 pounds 15 ounces. She was 20 inches long. She was actually born in the evening, but the time's not on this one.
About 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, or so.
Like
Yeah, so reason why she's a night owl, just like her dad.
Right. And talk about this little bracelet here.
This is an ID bracelet. You can see her wearing it in this photo right here. It actually has her name imprinted on it. It says Lisa Marie. It's something that Elvis gave her, and like I mentioned, she wears it in the family photo shoots from 1970.
This next item here is got to be one of the most special items in the exhibit here.
Really, besides Elvis's wallet, this is probably my favorite piece. When we found this in a drawer here at Graceland, it was like so precious, because not only is it signed Daddy, but it's signed to Issa, which that's kind of his nickname for her.
Yes.
And Lisa did not even remember seeing it until we showed it to her about 10 years ago.
What was her reaction to that?
She was kind of shocked. She didn't, like I said, she didn't remember it. And in fact, we had it specially framed for her, and this actually hung in her house in LA.
Oh.
And so it's another piece that's from her that she felt like putting on display here. Yeah, but it actually says, "I love you, my Lisa, Daddy." It's kind of special.
Yeah, it is. It gives me chills.
Now, the other thing about the exhibit is that we're kind of able to kind of grow her up a little bit. So normally, prior to this exhibit, Lisa was still kind of the little kid. But over here, we've got some more stuff, more from her childhood and things like that when she was a little bit older. You want to go take a look?
Let's go check it out.
All right. Here, Argo, we have a couple more things that really relate to Elvis and growing up here at Graceland. The photo album we found in Elvis's desk.
Oh, in
Yes,
his office?
In his office, yes. When we open up the bottom drawer, it's like there's this family photo album sitting there, and then when you open it up, it actually are photos from this photo shoot, from Lisa's first professional photo shoot.
So they're all pictures of her?
Yes.
Okay.
Her and the family. Yeah, the white faux fur coat. I stress faux because when Lisa was pictured in this coat when she turned 2, everyone made a big deal about a 2-year-old having a real fur coat. Obviously,
which is not
you could
out
tell.
of the question with her dad being...
Exactly, you know, I mean, all the rumors were out there about diamond rings and things like that. But
Right.
as you can tell, it's not real. It was fake. It just looked a little real. And this is what I was mentioning earlier about being able to grow Lisa up in
Yes.
this exhibit. She always has loved music. Music was probably, you know, because of Elvis, it was ingrained in her. And this is her personal record player with records from her personal collection. And as you can tell, her taste were very much like every other girl at the time. Everything from Olivia Newton-John to Bon
To Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi,
Yeah.
yes, you know. So this was very precious to her, and she used to carry it around the house with her. And it was kind of the mark. You can see where it's actually broke a little bit there.
Sure.
I mean, really the mark of being a teenage kid.
And I think a lot of people will recognize a record player like that too and say,
Yes.
hey, I had something just like
Yeah,
that.
especially from the early 70s, mid-70s. That's definitely something like, oh, I remember those.
Now, something that's really special is this Bible here.
Yeah, this Bible was actually a gift from a fan who they gave it to Elvis's mom, Gladys. And Gladys, when she passed away, Patsy Gamble, Elvis's cousin, actually kept it and saved it. And when Lisa was born, she gave it to Lisa. So there's a note in there to Gladys, and then a note from Patsy to Lisa, passing the Bible on.
Very special.
Yeah, very special.
And the little shoes.
Yeah, Lisa's first shoes. Everyone has a first pair of baby shoes, you know, and these are Lisa's. Again, something we found in the attic collection. Yeah. But, you know, speaking of Elvis's office, a major part of this exhibit is a replica of what it was like upstairs.
Well, let's go.
Okay, it's right over here. So this is what Elvis's office upstairs looks like.
And it, in relation to Lisa's room, is it right next to Lisa's room?
Right down the hall from Lisa's room.
So she spent a lot of time in here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, any kid, what kid doesn't spend a lot of time in their dad's office? You know, and of course for Lisa today, it's more about going up there and she looks through his book collection and things like that. But back in the day, it was all about playing with her daddy's stuff. His books. And that's the reason why the toys are in here, because Lisa would, you know, take over the space.
Bring her stuff in there and play, sure.
And play. It was her play space. The desk and everything actually came from upstairs when we replicated this room down here. And again, it shows you that peek into what it was like to be here at Graceland.
And you mentioned how she likes to read some of the things that he was reading. You have a varying books up here.
Yes, everything from karate to the Warren Report. The book that's open is actually a book on numerology. And as you can see, Elvis, he was very famous for writing in books. Loved to highlight things when he was reading things, underline things, write notes. And so it's very interesting to sit there and read the text and then see what he got out of it, what he underlined, what he wrote in the sides of the books and things like that. So it's a very interesting thing.
And that has to be really cool for her to go through and see,
and
because she can get an idea of what resonated with him in these different books.
And it's funny because some of the stuff resonates with her, you know, and it's like how much is learned activity and how much is inherited activity type thing. And so it's really unique that what things resonate with her that, you know, she got from her dad.
And there were fish in the office.
There were fish in the office. And up until Lisa did an interview with you, she thought they were the same fish in the office.
Right. Yes, and you said that there were several fish over the years.
There were several fish over the years. Every time a fish went to heaven, then a new fish came in to take its place.
Mysteriously overnight.
Mysteriously overnight, yes.
And the reason you know that, and we've mentioned before that, you know, everything was saved here.
Yes.
And so there are receipts for fish,
There are
right?
receipts for fish, yes. At least once a week there was a receipt for a fish. So, I mean, you know how goldfish are.
Sure.
So, and Elvis would not want to disappoint his little girl.
Not at all.
Not at all. So as we continue to make our way around the corner, we're going to pick up more with Elvis's charity work and talk a little bit more about how Lisa still continues to do charity work today.
Yes. So talk about the canceled checks here.
Here we have just a few of the canceled checks. These are all from early 60s. Elvis was famous for giving away cars and things like that, but he donated thousands of dollars to charities and to just people and friends. And Lisa makes a comment that she's always saw him giving, never saw him not giving something to somebody. And so these checks just represent a very small amount of the money that Elvis actually did donate to charity. And it was very important to him that they came from his personal checking account and that all of these checks are actually signed by him. And so then the exhibit takes another turn and looks at it from Lisa's perspective and things that she does. You know, she's very proactive in lots of charity work. Here are just a few outfits that she's worn throughout the years doing various charity projects. So giving is just as important to her as it was to Elvis.
You know, I've got to think too, we've heard all the stories about how Elvis gave and like you mentioned, cars and things. But I've got to think that maybe some of the stories we haven't heard about Elvis giving over the years are probably some of the most incredible.
They really are. And I think, you know, when we touch on Elvis's charitable acts, that's probably the one thing that people do not realize is how charitable he really was. And it's kind of the one personal side of him that people take away from them. They're like, wow, he's not just this entertainer. He really was this down-to-earth guy that cared about his neighbors and cared about his friends and took care of them. And if anybody was in need, that he helped out.
And his daughter saw that, so that's why she's that way too.
She is. She's very much her dad's little girl and does the same thing today. Like, we just left Elvis's office, and here we're going into Elvis's closet.
Wow.
Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing. Just
just the fashion sense, you know, a fashion sense which Lisa doesn't think she inherited, even though there's some things that she walks out in and it's like Elvis would have worn that. That came right out of his closet. So, of course, being a kid, Lisa loved going through his clothes.
Sure.
And before they were in archives, she would still go upstairs and just look at his wardrobe and just look at the hats and the boots and the various shirts and things like that, and just, you know, be in awe of, you know, this guy that she knew. So. And
the wardrobe, you mentioned Elvis's wardrobe, it's got to be huge. You've got to have so many different things.
We have over 5,000 pieces of clothing in the collection.
Wow.
88 of those are jumpsuits. If you're curious.
5,000 pieces, absolutely.
That could be a new trivia question.
Well, and look at all these hats, too.
Yeah, I mean, hats and boots and shoes. Elvis was a very stylish guy. You know, he's probably the only person on earth that could wear paisleys and pinstripes and get away with it. And Elvis did.
Yes, he did.
And he made it look cool.
And on the dresser here, is that Brute?
It's Brute.
Yes.
Yes. And Elvis's comb, you know, I mean, it's kind of representing all aspects of Elvis's style. You know, so if you've ever wanted to know what Elvis smelled like, he wore Brute and High Karate. Not at the same time, but those were the two.
Brute and High Karate, those were his 2 cents.
Brute and High Karate, those were his 2 cents.
Another really special item in this exhibit, and it really, I was really impressed to see it here, was this black box.
Yes. As we talked earlier, you can see Elvis carrying up this box.
All kinds of photos, videos, yeah, you see him.
You know, it was kind of his purse, basically.
Yeah, it's a man purse.
It's a man purse. That's what people would call it today. Back in the day, I mean, there was everything in there from credit cards. They said there was cash in there. There's none now. So, but jewelry, newspaper clippings, throat spray, things like that. It was something that was very personal to Elvis. And after his passing, Lisa kept it with her. And she would go through it whenever, you know, she wanted to. And it wasn't until early mid-2000s that she actually sent it here to Graceland to be stored in the archives for safekeeping.
Because she wanted it to be safe and protected, right?
Yes, she wanted it to be safe and protective. So when we were going through the collection and going through the list of artifacts and things like that, it was like, she's like, there needs to be something personal. And I'm like, I totally agreed with her, something that only she could say, yes, I want this displayed. And that's what this box was.
And I think it's really special because she saw him with it all the time, that she wanted to keep it with her for so many years.
And now when she's here, there's other times where she's gone through it, you know, kind of what she used to do and things like that. So it's still a piece of the collection that is very personal to her.
And I think that's something that people should know too. When she is back home, she cares about everything that's going on here, and will even go as far as to, you know, bring some of these things that she remembers and take a look at them again.
Yes, actually, yeah. Graceland is very much her home, and she's very protective of it still. And when she's here, she likes the fact that it is preserved and she has a place that she can come to, but it's still her house. And so she's very protective over it, and she loves being able to go and seeing things that she remembers from when she was a kid and sharing it with her kids, you know, kind of giving them that little feel of what it was like here at Graceland when Elvis was here.
Now, Angie, I know one of your favorite parts of this exhibit is the wallet. So let's go take a look at the wallet.
Yes. There it is. I think the reason probably why it's my favorite piece in here is that it is so personal. I mean, it's everything in there is the way that Elvis last carried it. And when you open it up, here's the king of rock and roll, loved by millions, but the first thing he had in there was a picture of Lisa.
Yeah.
Very much what a dad would do. Today it's with the phones. You pull your phone out, you get a picture of your kid on the phone. But back in the day, it was all about the wallet and the pictures in the wallet.
And he was so proud of...
So proud of Lisa and so happy to be a dad, you know, and so it's that personal side that I really connected to, and that I think that's what makes this one of my favorite pieces, because you could just see him going, oh yeah, here's Lisa. You know, if you haven't seen her lately, here's what Lisa looks like. Very proud, and so that's probably why it's my favorite piece.
There's a neat story from an assistant director in Hollywood, Michael Hoey, who worked on Live a Little, Love a Little, and he said during the filming of that movie they took a break, and there was a set they went to offset, just he and Elvis took out his wallet and laid out all these pictures of Lisa Marie and said, this is my baby girl.
He did the same thing at the White House. when he went to go visit President Nixon, the family photo shoot from 1970, he had just gotten those pictures back. And if you look closely at those pictures, look at the desk, and they're sitting out on the desk. And it's like, oh, I know that picture.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, very proud of Lisa.
Now,
Very proud.
right next to the wallet, we got some bling.
Of course, jewelry. You know, you can't have Elvis's closet without a little jewelry in
Right.
it. The TCB ring, probably being the biggest piece of the bling.
Yes.
Has 16 carats in diamonds. The solitaire is 11.5 carats.
Heavy. That had to be heavy
Very
to wear.
heavy. Well, not only that, you see how huge it is?
Yes.
I mean, on Elvis's finger, it extend from his lower knuckle to the bottom of his finger. You know, if I was to put my finger up next to that, it would take up 3/4 of my finger.
Now, talk about the necklace.
The necklace
there.
actually has Elvis's initials in it. It says EP, and it's probably most recognizable from a picture of Elvis with Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Yeah, Elvis is wearing it in that photo. He also wore it on and off stage. It's a lion's nail. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Now we go into Lisa, kind of when she represents Elvis today, and kind of, you know, her presence being at places is actually, you know, Elvis's presence kind of being there too.
Sure.
So one of the first things here in Memphis, really, that Lisa represented Elvis was the stamp ceremony that we had here at Graceland back, gosh, that was 1993.
Yes.
Since then, she's very involved with the estate and very involved in representing Elvis. And a place that's really close to her heart, and we know would be really close to Elvis's, is Presley Place.
Really, really special place.
A very special place. Not only do we have the shovel from the groundbreaking ceremony and her typed, and you can see personal notes on it, copy of her speech that she was giving that day, we have the gold scissors. Now, those gold scissors have opened Graceland. They opened the Car Museum, they opened EPM, and they opened Presley Place. So they're kind of the go-to gold scissors.
Did not know that the same scissors were used there.
Yes. So any major event that we have here at Graceland, those are the scissors that we use for the openings.
Very cool. Talk about some of the wardrobe items here next to.
The white outfit is what Lisa wore when they did the groundbreaking here for Presley Place here in Memphis. It's a white Chanel suit, and then the shirt next to it looks like something Elvis probably would have worn.
It does. It does.
That was worn by Lisa at the opening of Presley Place, the grand opening when it was completed. And then this outfit, the black two-piece outfit, is from the opening of Elvis Presley's Memphis, which was a themed restaurant that we had on Bill Street, same Lansky building on Bill Street where Elvis used to go shopping. And then a couple outfits here at the end. The white one is a Versace suit that Lisa wore at an Elvis Week anniversary concert when she debuted her song Nobody Noticed from her album To Whom It May Concern. And then, speaking of albums, we kind of touch on Lisa's music career here in the corner. We have things from all 3 of her albums, including the latest one, Storm and Grace. In fact, the photo that you see that was used for the album cover was shot here at Graceland.
Right here at home.
Right here at home. It was shot back in the woods that when she was a kid she wasn't allowed to go into, so, you know.
So I was never allowed to come back here because there was always people sitting on the trees along the fence here. So then, and it was always kind of a little bit dangerous, and I was warned always against never coming near the fence, and somebody jumped the fence, or usually there was people sitting in trees along the fence just to sort of look over into the back area that you can't see from front. So it's always been a very forbidden area to go into.
She wasn't allowed to go there?
She was not allowed to go back in the woods because you didn't know what was back there.
Right.
So, of course, Lisa, being just like her dad, very rebellious at times, decides when she's shooting her album cover what's more perfect than to shoot here at Graceland.
Well, you know, Angie, I think one of the most talked about items in this exhibit also are some of the photos that we're going to take a look at here. Some of the photos of Lisa's family now.
Exactly. I mean, this was the first time that we've been able to actually include Elvis's grandkids pictured here in the exhibit. Let's go look at them.
Let's take a look.
So as part of the exhibit, we framed up these photos that Elvis and Lisa took back in 1970.
Yes.
You know, kind of the family photo shoot. They also included Priscilla. There's a picture of the faux fur coat that we saw earlier today. But the most important thing that this kind of led us to was the fact that we were able to actually show the family today.
Yes.
So here,
having dinner here.
Having dinner at Graceland. This is Thanksgiving. There's Lisa and her extended family, the cousins, and all of them are here at Graceland. And then, of course, we've got the girls. You've got Lisa and Riley, her oldest, and then the twins, Harper and Finley. But this is probably the photo that gets the most attention.
It is. So many people have mentioned this to us since this exhibit has been open.
Yeah, this is Lisa with her son Ben. So yeah, it really gets a lot of focus because of his striking resemblance to his grandfather.
Sure, there's his grandson.
Yeah. So this really kind of ties up the whole, you know, this was my family, this was my life, and this is my family today, and who I share my love of my dad with.
And that's, you know, you mentioned the word share, and that's really what it's all about here. There's still such a family feel here at Graceland, and Lisa and the family over the years enjoy sharing this with people.
Exactly.
As Elvis loved to.
Exactly. So for our guests that come, it's like when you're walking through the front door, it's like Elvis personally invited you, and today Lisa and Priscilla both invite fans from around the world to come visit Graceland, and it really is, they're sharing Elvis with them.
Now, this exhibit has been part of the VIP exhibit here at Graceland, and Angie is so busy because you will be transforming this into a brand new exhibit here at Graceland, 60 Years of Elvis.
Exactly. This space, as you see it today, this is your last chance to see it this way, because we are going to be transforming this space to be a new exhibit celebrating Elvis's musical career. This year, as you might know, is the 60th year of Elvis's first recording at Sun Studios.
Yes.
So that's going to kick off the exhibit, but it's going to go in much more depth about Elvis's music and how his music still influences artists today. And, you know, certain songs that we're going to cover, like Burning Love, is still used by Bruce Springsteen and things like that. So it's going to be a really cool exhibit. Kind of sad to see this one go away because it is so personal. But excited about something new, you know?
As the director of archives here at Graceland, what does it mean when an exhibit of this magnitude, especially something when you work with Lisa Marie so close, when you get ready to end one and start another one?
It's very sad, you know, to see it coming to an end, but you get so focused on the new and what's getting ready to come. And I mean, this space, the way that it looks like now, come next week will look totally different. Same room, but it's going to look totally different. So it gives me that excitement of being able to share another aspect of our collection with the guests that come, and to give them just kind of another little insight into everything here at Graceland.
And real quick, this space originally was a garage here at Graceland, is that right?
When Elvis bought Graceland, this was a garage. So this had 4 cars in it. He then changed it to a small apartment for his dad and his stepmother and his 3 stepbrothers. So they lived here. It was 3 bedrooms with a kitchen and living room. And then it was used for office spaces for years. It wasn't until 2000 that we actually changed this and made this part of the tour.
Very good, because there are so many things in the archives to share. It helped to have the extra space, right?
Yeah, considering only 10% of our collection is on display, there's lots of things to share.
Only 10%, wow.
Only 10%.
Well, we can't wait to see the new things with the new exhibit, 60 Years of Elvis. Angie, thank you so much for taking us through today.
Oh, well, thank you for coming by before all of this was gone.
And you can visit Graceland and follow all the progress of the new exhibit, 60 Years of Elvis, that's coming together here in this space. You can follow on Twitter at Visit Graceland, on this live stream, and on Facebook at Elvis Presley's Graceland. We look forward to seeing you soon right here at Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee.